Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan. And this is not a drill. We have done the rituals and the rites, and we have really put in the work.
Oh yeah.
I think Dylan did a lot of the wrangling.
And when we say put in the work, we mean he appeared.
Yeah, he appeared, but I think Dylan was able to do the right stuff
confines
to lock him in.
Containment center.
Chase is here.
Yeah, that rain's gone now.
I see. There you go. It's now we're on a finite amount of time now before he will just be gone.
Well, that's only because you poisoned the tea.
Well, hey,
It ain't gonna kill you, but it'll slow you down.
I put a draught in it that makes him stay in this dimension for longer than he had originally intended. So I did a little bit of alchemy, but we're here now, and I got him for another hour. So we gotta lock it in while we can before he goes back to his dimension.
Glued me to the chair.
right. You don't see this. I have a 5-point harness on him in the podcast studio.
The gimp suit you see is a supplement to his corporeal form. Consider it a restraint.
Oh man, for a brief moment, my mind is very visual, and I did not want to
Chase Gimp jump scare.
100%. I did not want to see. I did not want to see that. Thank you and no thank you, Dylan.
Yep.
The mind is a dangerous place.
It is a minefield, and I just stepped in it.
You're one to fucking talk.
Whatever do you mean, Dylan?
I don't want to talk to you.
I have never said any bad things in my life.
Shut up right now.
Shut up right now.
You're here as a prisoner, not a guest.
I am perfectly sane.
Yeah.
And can be trusted around sharp objects.
I specifically requested this episode with Dylan before I knew that Chase was present, but I think it's still the moons have aligned, so I think it all works out. That it has been a very busy week at work, as you can imagine. The holiday season has got people doing a whole bunch of stuff, and of course, I think people are going on spring break, or there's the whole Easter season, so everyone's got free time and everyone's got time to spare. So this week has been difficult, and it has put me working into the later part of this week more than I normally would do. And I was like, I know for the past few episodes, Dylan and I have been talking about Bleach.
Oh yeah,
and we've been going pretty hard in the Bleach episodes because
it cleans stuff pretty well.
Shit's good.
It does. It was a great batch of episodes that we watched for that show, and I think that the episodes that we recorded for it, I think we do some of it justice. And
I'd like to hope so.
Yeah, and so normally, like whenever we have like the normal movie part of this show, like regular episodes of this show, sometimes I like to tag on to the end of the episode, just some things or stuff we've been feeling.
The shit that we shoot.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been locked and loaded for like 3-4 weeks now, with stuff because those
ammo stockpile.
Because those ammo's been because that ammo's been running long. Is what I was going to say. Those episodes have been running long.
Yeah.
I haven't wanted to bog down those episodes with that stuff, and I was hoping that we'd eventually have a moment like this.
Yeah. Get bogged.
Get bogged, idiot. There's a lot of things in the video game space that have been happening, and I've been wanting to talk about it for a little bit. And so, and now that like a few more weeks out from all that stuff, even more things have happened. And so I wanted to open that discussion up and talk about a few things. If I may be so inclined, if you would allow me to talk about the first thing I have on my list.
Nope.
I have reason to believe, I'm not sure who else is in this video game space like me, but my algorithm has this shit curated to me to a T. I'm not sure if anybody else knows about this, but I think some point next week they're going to shadow drop the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered.
Really?
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and it's an Unreal Engine 5, and I think it's the core framework of the game is still the same. But all the graphical rendering is done inside Unreal Engine, and I think they do some tweaks to combat and things like that. Regardless, it's been rumored for a long time, since the beginning of the year. I think I kind of mentioned it, and I thought they would release it like in that first quarter, and I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
But I think from what people have told me and from what I've seen in my algorithm, I think it's going to happen like next week, and it's going to be just like a ta-da, here it is.
Right.
Did they say a price or anything?
No, but I can imagine it's probably going to be damn near full price. I mean, maybe not. I mean, a lot of times remasters right now, I'm thinking like with, is it Aspire? Is that the company that is making like the Tomb Raider ones, the Star Wars ones?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Chase?
I do not remember.
Okay, I think there's a Tomb Raider remaster. I think you have, Chase, and I think there's also the Dark Forces one that I have, and they also do all the like all the Star Wars conversions or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not from them, but I think whenever they release it, they port it over.
Yeah.
I don't think they remaster. They just they digitally touch it up.
Yeah.
And those
basically a re-release.
Right. I think those run $20-$30 or something like that. So with this being like a big overhaul, and I think it's going to come with some special DLC items or something like that, and it's like its own thing. I can't remember what the studio is called, but I think they're the ones who are working on Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Ooh.
The same people that are
that'll be interesting.
the same people that are doing that are the ones that are working on this remaster of Oblivion.
Yeah, then I
So
can look at Eva in 4K.
It looks beautiful. I've seen some leaked screenshots of it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks wonderful. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Be cool if they added some new stuff. If it was just like a really nice facelift, that'd be one thing, but they add a little panache to it.
It is a really nice facelift, but I think they have redesigned some of the dungeons, which are the kind of grindy, samey part of the game.
Yeah, streamlined some stuff.
Yeah, they made it more unique. So like each
quality of life type stuff.
I think the way Oblivion worked is like once you kind of went into once you have discovered the 4 or 5 different tile sets of caves, they just kind of copy and paste that against all hundreds and something of the caves. Yeah. So once you go inside the look of
cave number 450.
Cave number right.
Yeah.
It's cave layout 1, cave layout 2, cave layout 3, and they just kind of sprinkle those across the map. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they revitalized some of that stuff. And I think from what I've heard, the big thing they've worked on was combat. So it's not as it's more weighty. So it's not just like the game used to be, where just you could swing at
real
things.
Floaty.
Right.
I remember my trial in the Goblin Caves.
Yeah,
dude, that shit was freaky.
Yeah. I enjoy the game and I love it. So I don't think that any of the core elements of the story and things like that. I don't know. This is all speculation. Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Right. So again, a lot of these screenshots were released are official, but they got taken down from the original website because again, I think they were dug up by people.
A leak.
So anyways, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Oh yeah.
And
I miss my work.
Oh dude. I don't think I obviously am worried that it's probably going to be wonky and all kinds of stuff like that. But I have not been one to get super offended by Bethesda's jank.
Yeah.
It's definitely an acquired taste.
It is. And when I say that, I mean that in the Elder Scrolls and Fallout frame of reference.
Right.
I do not have Starfield. And when I heard people's complaints about it and the kind of jank that was associated with, I'm like, I don't really think this is the kind of Bethesda game I want anyways.
Yeah.
But I remember some of the jank that came with Fallout 4 and all that stuff going on and everything happening with that. So all I'm saying is that I love Oblivion. So the fact that there is even a drop in the bucket of people looking into this game and playing around with it. I've talked on this show ad nauseum about Sky Oblivion. I think is also going to try and release, which I think is a clever play that they're doing.
Yeah,
they're releasing this remaster now because Sky Oblivion was like, we're hoping to have the release of this by I think this summer. I think is what they're hoping for, and that's been in development for since Skyrim released.
It's crazy
So,
that it's gotten to a point where the actual developers
Yeah.
have to compete with fan mods.
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of they're like, we got to get in now before they release their shit
Right.
because we got to cash in.
Otherwise, we're going to be blown out of the fucking water.
And I think they're also they're also gliding on the coattails of the hype as well. Because at the beginning of this year, Oblivion dropped their like that big video that was like, here's all the assets and the areas that we've completed. 100% completed here, 100%, 96% here, 97%
saw
here.
that was like,
Oh,
shit.
yeah. But not only that, but people were hyped about it. So they were like, we got to lock in, boys.
They're beating us in our own game.
Exactly, right. So
New Oblivion releases, doesn't see Ian for like a whole week.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If it's good.
If it's good.
Yeah.
Again,
crossed.
I think that it's going to, even like I said, even if there's probably some jank to it, I have a feeling that they're going to probably, it's the new thing, so they're probably going to take care of it for a while. I'm also a pretty forgiving guy. There's a threshold for me where it's not.
Yeah.
If it's going to be,
If it's heavy jank, then
well, yeah,
like
there's a
game crash
what
type
is it?
jank.
Oh, yeah, what is it, like a graph where like the one line of the graph goes up, one line goes down.
Right.
The cross section of the two is if the price gets too high and the jank and the quality of the game goes down. There's a cross section in the middle for me where like, let's say hypothetically that this game releases at like $40-$50. I would say, quote unquote, less than a brand new game.
Right.
I feel like a brand new game in 2025 is 60,
Just about 70.
60 70 bucks, which we'll get to that in a second because I do want to talk about Nintendo. I want to talk. I know. Hold on. We'll get there. But so I feel like if the game releases at $60 to $70 full price, and the game runs really well, and the jank is minimal, I'll allow a little variance for like, hey, who knows?
Yeah.
So there's a little jank. I'm okay with that kind of stuff. Not, but if we're talking like the game is unplayable, it crashes. It's like
Or
the
if
jank
it just like boils down to a slightly prettier version of the same game.
Right.
But,
That's where the kind of the
quality
scales.
has to match the price.
Oh, you remember
Exactly.
I
Survivor?
got to get my money's worth.
No, I don't.
Jedi Survivor?
I remember hearing about it, but I never actually was in the trenches when all that was going down.
So I managed to beat it around whenever it came out. Like
I think you mentioned this to me. Yeah.
I was having a little bit of problems with it, beat it and everything, and I was like, okay. I'll leave it alone for a few months. Came back a few months later, and it was even worse than
Oh
before.
no!
Yeah, it would just crash like after I loaded up,
Damn.
be in there for like 15 minutes, and then it just crash.
Right.
You've heard of day one patch. Get ready for day one glitches.
But see, so for me as well, like if let's say hypothetically, they release this game and it's like the base price is like $30, but like you can get like the deluxe edition for like $50.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about like now, like the price ceiling is definitely down, and this is where my grace kind of goes up a little bit, where it's like if the game is like significantly cheaper, and they're like still trying to work,
price.
and they're still trying to work out some kinks and stuff like that. Yes, obviously, I always say that the game should function on launch, but I know that we don't live in that world, which is sad.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to extend.
Very rarely do
and
we
this is
get
why
a gem like that.
Exactly. Well, I'm looking at you, Baldur's Gate 3. Beautiful.
Oh, the good old PS2 days.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the reason I'm saying that is because I know that sometimes it's not solely the developer's fault, because I know a lot of times they have the corporate,
the publishers.
the publishers being like, you got to get it out by this day.
You got a deadline.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
If it ain't out the door by then, you're done.
Or my
so-
favorite thing with that is they do it, and the publishers are like, "What happened? Why is the game not doing
yeah.
as well
Why are
as
they
like,
mad at us?
rushed us.
I can't.
You didn't give us enough time.
Yeah,
So for me, that's what I'm saying. When I say like I'm giving grace, I'm talking about to the developers that probably would have liked to have maybe 6 more months, but that was not going to happen. Especially with Oblivion being on the horizon. So here,
Right.
which has had like over a decade worth of work put into it by people donating their time and money, which is amazing, I may say.
True passion project.
True
That's how
passion
you
project.
know it's quality.
So again, that's what I'm saying. If the price is really low and I would allow a little bit more jank, because again, I know they're going to probably work it out. It just is. It is the the landscape that we're in. I don't like it. I don't.
We included jank DLC.
And that's the funny thing. I think upon release, everyone, when Oblivion originally released, that's if I'm not mistaken, in 2006, there was not a whole lot of like quote unquote DLC for games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were one of the first. Yeah, the horse armor.
The horse armor.
Oh,
it was
Jesus.
cosmetic horse armor that had no stat benefits. It was just
the furtive pygmy. Easily
and
forgotten.
So, right, and so you would pay for it, and it would be just cosmetic that you would then like buy in game, like with like your money, whatever. There's like a dealer that you can go to and be like, "Hey, I want to buy a horse armor." And they're like, "Cool, here you go."
Yeah,
yeah, they got a ton of shit for that,
and it
didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter, and
people didn't care.
But large people thought that was like telling. I'm saying all this because I do believe that
Look at where we are
I do believe that the game is going to release. I think there's a deluxe edition of it that it comes with extra stuff
Day one horse armor.
Yeah, and you can, yes,
fuck.
and you can get the deluxe edition with horse armor. So I think that I'm not sure.
Well, we can't play the game without our horse armor.
And so I think that there is a bit of a callback in that regard, which I think is kind of funny. So you can
know what the fuck
they know what they're doing. There's going to be a deluxe edition where you can get some special armor set. I think that comes with it, a special weapon, some horse armor, and I think some other little things, whatever. And there's also, and it's going to be, it's not only just releasing on PC, but it's going to also release on the Xbox Series. Okay. It's going to release on on PC and PlayStation, and it's going to be day one on Game Pass for Xbox.
Okay.
And there's going to be a new physical edition of it.
Oh,
comes with a case and everything, and it's going to be really cool. And apparently, there's some collector stuff or whatever. So I think they're going to capitalize on it. And like I say, I'm not one to talk positively about, and again, like the game space and like
they just
releasing.
Make it so hard nowadays.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not. I a lot of times don't buy into games like that. A lot of times, I don't like to pre-order games. A lot of times, I don't like to buy games outright because I just know that it's probably not going to work out.
One of the few recent exceptions I could think of, Metal Gear and fucking Armored Core.
Armored Core, Armored Core is a good bet. FromSoft is a pretty safe bet.
The
I think.
safest,
the safest bet,
especially nowadays, man.
Yeah,
shit,
exactly.
Oh well.
So,
did you ever tell him about Enna?
No, I did not. So, oh man, this was I whenever Chase told me about it, I was baffled that it had actually released.
Okay,
free, mind you.
Right.
Free. Okay.
Yeah,
it's this little indie project that this guy had been working on. He's got a YouTube channel where he made these like really trippy and funny, like old school point and click style videos.
Okay.
With these crazy characters, and he made a fucking game.
Wow. Okay.
In that same style, and so far from what I've played, it's pretty damn fun.
That's cool. What's it called?
Enna's Dream Barbecue. In
Enna's Dream Barbecue.
Enna.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you spell
ENA?
Okay.
Yeah.
Enna's Dream Barbecue. Yeah, it sounds fun.
The funny thing about it is, I don't even think they ever mention anything about a barbecue.
No.
There you go.
Hide nor hair of any brisket.
I love it.
Yeah. But
it's
been pretty fun so far.
Okay. I'll probably have to give it a look then. But this is what I'm talking about. So again, I'm cautiously optimistic,
right,
that this game is going to release and be this Oblivion remaster is going to be playable.
You can only hope.
And that's what I'm saying. And so again, I don't know what the price is, and that's the one thing I'm worried about. Yeah. Is this is in the realm of things I would like to keep going. I want to fund this sort of work. Right. I love Oblivion. It is one of my most favorite games of all time. So you better believe the fact that, like I said earlier in this conversation, just the fact that we even at the beginning of the year, I got a whisper of a remaster. I was like, oh boy, I'm locked in.
Mind you, I'll probably have to just buy it because I've never even played Oblivion.
Get out. We have to have a team. We all have to play.
Yeah.
Again, I love the game because of it's nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
It was the first like real RPG that I played. Character like creation stuff. Like it was the full gambit for me. So like I think a lot of people felt that way about Morrowind, and I do like Morrowind in some regard, but I don't have the same nostalgic that some people do for it. The Oblivion, I think is is beautiful for what it is.
Yeah.
It has beautiful landscapes. It has some fun mechanics.
Beautiful music.
It's got the best soundtrack. I love that music so much in that game. There's so many great things going for it, but it does come with its own layer of jank.
Right.
Yeah.
It released initially in 2006. We are now damn near 20 years outside of that. So like
That's nuts to me.
So there's a lot of gameplay things like the combat, for instance, that kind of, and some of the movement that feels a little floaty, that feels a little bit damage sponge. You're just kind of like whacking away at stuff. Some difficulty stuff is not like, again, the game has its flaws, but I think just like with music, just like with art in a lot of ways, I think there's beauty in imperfection. And I think that I look at Oblivion and I'm like, you have some jank.
You got a hell of a face.
You are wonky, and the faces in that game are wacky.
Yeah.
So you got a lazy eye there.
Yeah, Bayazura. Yeah, but again, I'm able to look at all that and say, despite all of your flaws, you're beautiful and I love you.
Mm.
Oh, you know what's really funny? The next Elder Scrolls game. You remember whenever they released the trailer for that way back when?
A long time ago.
Yeah. I saw
Again, so I think I think this is what's going on with that. I think Bethesda's working on their future project. So that's where this other studio is coming in that has done all the work. I don't remember the name of the studio that's working on Delta.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear.
Metal Slug Solid.
Metal Slug Solid. I've done that in the past.
Right.
Metal Slug Delta Eater.
Yeah, Delta Eater. That's good.
Oh.
So that's where this company comes into play, and they're remastering it. And what I think is going to happen, and I've heard speculation about this because I think it's also in the lineup of games that they want to remaster as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also love it for the same reason. I think they're going to remaster Fallout 3.
Ooh.
Because again, that was a Games for Windows Live thing.
Yeah.
Same thing, came out around the same time.
Same deal with Lost Planet 2.
Same thing with Lost Planet 2.
Mm.
And it has its own flaws where, like, now on most normal Windows computers, Fallout 3 won't run normally.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because I have a friend of mine that I see every week, and he's a big Fallout guy. Loves that franchise to death. He's in the process of building a custom PC that's like all Fallout themed, and it looks super beautiful.
Remember when we tried to boot it up for the first time and then we kept running into issues?
Yeah. And so I think that there's a lot. You need some mods to fix it, and even still, it's not guaranteed. It's just
we had to resort to trying my old copy for the fucking Xbox that I had.
Oh, you want to hear something really funny? I remember the first Deus Ex game worked completely fine on PC. Didn't have any problems with it.
Sorry, Chase, what was that?
Deus Ex. Deus Ex.
Okay. All right.
Don't mishear me on purpose.
Right.
Anyways, the second game can't get it to run.
Oh, really?
Tried it on his computer.
That sucks.
Tried a bunch of stuff and
You talking about Mankind Divided?
No.
Human Revolution? Oh, wait, no. The Invisible War.
Yeah.
Damn.
Couldn't get that to run. Gave up on it.
I separated those two entirely. Old Deus Ex and new.
Got to say the first one kind of weird, but it's got a good soundtrack though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh yeah.
But all the other ones seem to work perfectly fine.
What a shame.
But yeah, so I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that they're planning on releasing Fallout 3. And so again, this is what I'm saying as well. That was the first Fallout game that I played, and I love that game as well. It's very beautiful, and I would love to see that.
Motherfucker's got the two near and dears.
And so that's what I'm saying.
Just dangling those.
Right. And so I'm thinking that I think hopefully if this remaster goes well for Oblivion, I think we can guarantee probably a really good release of Fallout 3 as well, which I think would be awesome. So again,
that'd be great.
And like I said earlier, and I'll reiterate again, the only thing I don't know is the price for it.
Right.
So that's what I'm hinging on right now. Is like depending on how much this price
the make or break.
That's the make or break because
$80. We're holding your
and that's what I'm saying is that since games have gone past like the $60 to $70 threshold, I have purchased new games at full price less. There is a sharp drop off from when I used to buy games like as they would release to like now I will always wait for them to go on discount.
Yeah.
I don't think in the past few years I have paid over $40 for a game.
Yeah.
I think there are some suggestions. What's what I'm looking for?
I know the word you're thinking of.
There are some. Oh God,
I can't think of
I'm
anything.
so stupid.
Some
Exemptions. There are some exemptions to exceptions.
Yep.
There are some exceptions.
Dylan.
Thank you. Appreciate it. There are some exceptions to the rule where I think I have paid full price for something, but but as a standard, I know that if I give it like 6 months to a year, there's going to be a Steam sale,
right.
Yeah.
and a lot of times they'll shave $20 off of it. I'm like, sometimes there are games that I think have popped off that I'm like, I got to jump on this right now.
Right.
But more often than not, I don't gotta
play the long time.
because that's not the kind of gamer I am. You guys know this. You guys know this firsthand. And now everyone in the audience will also know this. I'm the kind of guy who will lock into a game for 6 months.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes, if I'm lucky, a whole year. Helldivers has been that.
Yeah.
Helldivers, I jumped on that game, gosh, April, May of last year, and
Yeah.
here I am.
Still playing.
Still rocking it.
Oh yeah.
And just recently have I dipped my toes into Elite Dangerous.
Yep.
And I've slipped down the
He
slope.
likes it. He
I
likes it.
like it, and you better believe it's going to be my personality for the next 6 months. Is
Damn.
space flight simulator?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude!
She be dangerous on my elite to space
into
travel.
like Odyssey.
It's been the same
nuts.
with me with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
There you go.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Did I tell you how many hours
Have
I got
you
on it?
ever? Yes, Chase.
Yeah.
Numerous occasions.
Don't
You've-
worry, it's
you've
go- it's
kept
gonna-
a tally.
It's going to get it to
honestly.
100 pretty soon.
I'm well aware.
It's because of Tifa.
Oh,
Ooh,
no.
say it.
Oh no.
Oh really?
It may have started that way, but no. This motherfucker has gone to the dark side.
How so? Yuffie?
Fucking Yuffie.
Best girl Yuffie?
Best girl Yuffie.
She ain't that
Psychopath. Okay, but is she Tifa?
No.
Fuck no.
But
I will say I do have a special place in my heart for Aerith.
That's fair.
So does Sephiroth.
That's fair.
Hey. You watch your mouth, young man.
Don't make me take the
I will
suit
say,
off.
I will say real quick though, Yuffie is
Thought I
really
forgot that one, didn't you?
Yuffie is really powerful as a character playing as her.
He's
All right,
scoffing.
now I gotta buy the game for you.
Not impressed.
Not impressed.
Yuffie can go.
Away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can get away from me.
Yeah.
You Yevon
Yeah,
Blitzball.
Also, people keep joining the party in that game, and I'm just like, all right, who else is coming?
Yeah. Who else wants to join?
Anybody else?
Is this Grand
on.
Blue? Is this Grand Blue or what?
Get out from those fucking bushes.
I beat some guy in a mansion, and then he kind of just shows up later.
Like, I'm here to join you.
Apparently, and I'm
No.
just like, didn't I just
I
beat?
kicked your ass. You think I want you on my team?
Mind you, he
Everyone just simps for Cloud. Please notice me, Cloud.
Oh, dude.
mind you, that guy kicked my ass several times. So
There you go.
Are you talking about Dio?
no.
Oh, okay.
Is it Valentine?
Vincent Valentine?
Vincent?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yo,
Vin-
hey,
yeah,
Vincent
no,
Valentine gets a
Vincent,
pass.
He's a goat.
yeah, but he kicked my ass.
Need that motherfucker on my team.
Yeah.
He's got his own game.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have it. Dirge of Cerberus. I think you were there when I got it.
probably so.
Triple barrel pistol, claw arm. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That game was angst.
Yeah.
Personified. I think Vincent Valentine is angst personified.
I'd
Does
say
he
so.
also sleep in a coffin in that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then yep.
I don't know if they actually show a coffin.
He's
in
my
that game.
he's my favorite Final Fantasy.
He looks.
Dude,
He's got the look.
I love his design so much.
Mhm.
I just love his matching boots with his claw hand thing.
Right.
With the, God,
Big ass
so-
pointy gold shoes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Did he
Glowing red cloak.
Bro.
also turn into a big monster on that game?
I don't know.
He
actually.
does I think he does in Dirge of Cerberus,
Ah,
which is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool dude.
He's
I
pretty cool.
especially enjoy his portrayal in Advent Children.
Oh my gosh, yes. Advent Children. What a callback.
Yeah.
another thing with Cloud I saw was Cloud emotionally unavailable Strife.
Yep. Factually accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I kind of wanted to talk about the T.
Oh yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
No. Wait, what? What T with Kingdom Hearts?
Just gotta rearrange the letters a little bit.
Organization 13.
Oh, I see. I see.
13. Yes.
So Nintendo.
Oh,
What the hell?
yeah.
What they do?
They're releasing the new, or
Switch 2.
they're hopefully releasing the new Switch 2, and it's going to be $450.
And 480p.
And people
Full
are
HD.
upset.
Yeah, right.
Supposedly on par with a PS4 now.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are upset that it's $450. I think the original one was just $400, right?
I believe so, yeah.
It's
Or
only
$350.
Switch.
It's only an extra $50.
But that's what I'm saying. But people are upset about it.
Eh.
But the real thing that's pissing me off, and this is what I'm scared about.
Mhm.
I've heard tales that
Symphonia.
From the Borderlands.
gosh, that the new Grand Theft Auto,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna try and make it like $90 or $100, like
Oh.
like base price.
Oh my god.
Because this game is going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest game of the century, or whatever the hell they're going to, or whatever it is.
Mm.
I do think that Rockstar has a gem on their hands. It is historically accurate that the Grand Theft Auto games, as they have released, have like changed the gaming landscape. And like whenever they've released,
Yeah.
they have been cultural touchstones, the releases of those games.
Mhm.
I haven't been a big Grand Theft Auto guy, but I understand their lineage in history as being one that is very big and important. And I think they're going to try and capitalize on that. But because I don't think they're going to make it a live service game, quote unquote, they're going to still try and make their money out of it.
Right.
And
Especially with multiplayer.
I think they're going to try and set a new precedent is what they're going to try and do. And like make games more expensive.
Yeah.
God.
Because I think that they're a game like that requires that much work, that much effort, that much manpower, and it's going to be the biggest game of the decade and beyond.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try and capitalize on that.
I'd be happy if they forego whatever seasonal model has been prevalent throughout. what
Yeah.
feels like a shit ton of games for almost.
Yeah.
If that's gonna be their excuse for hiking up the price, I'm still not gonna be happy about it. But I'll be happy that that specific system is not included.
Right. I don't know about all that. I'm just saying that there is talks of that being the case whenever that game may release.
Mhm.
And I think that Nintendo is doing something very similar.
What am I saying? They're gonna do that shit anyway.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Hey, I'll just go
So-
watch a walkthrough if it's that expensive.
And so here's what's going to happen, I think, with Nintendo.
Mhm.
Is I think they're not only they're hiking up their big moneymaker games,
Right, their
like the
first-party
new
titles.
their Mario Kart World,
Mhm.
making it like what is it, 70,
Around $80.
80? I think it's $80, and then it's 90 for a physical edition, which isn't even a physical edition. Have you heard about this?
No. Oh, God.
Some games that you will buy for the Switch 2 that are quote unquote physical editions that you'll pay $10 extra for, you'll open it up and it'll just be a code
Yep.
that will allow you to
God.
download from the Nintendo
I'm
store,
done.
the eShop.
This is the end.
But you're right, this is the end because there are some games like I'm almost certain, and I don't know if the $10 price works for those code type games. They probably will be cheaper.
Where's the sense?
But
how are they going to justify that?
I don't, because I think what's going to happen is that I may have that price discrepancy wrong with those kinds, but I think what's going to happen for the physical games for the Switch 2, you will go and buy them and they will have a card in there. Whenever you insert the card, the card has no data about the game. The card
It's going to be like an old school PC activation key.
exactly.
Bruh.
So you will insert this card, and the card has a
I'm getting
code.
Supreme Commander flashbacks.
Yeah.
dude.
The card, the SD card that is the game that you're purchasing. Let's say, for instance, my Mario Kart World.
Mhm.
You'll put it in there, and it has the code pre-baked into it. So that way, whenever you insert the card into the Switch 2, it will download the game and then automatically be your code to play the game. But I think whenever you remove that is when you can still, there's the game still, but I don't think it lets you play. I'm not sure how that works, or you may still be able to play it, but I don't think you're going to be able to use the card. Like once you plug it in and download it, I think it's useless at that point. So why have a physical? I don't know all of this.
If it's just like a one-time use,
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. But I think what they're doing, and I see what's happening here, is that they're pushing everything to online.
Yep.
They're pushing all of it to the eShop, and they're really focusing it to where like you have to have the what's it called?
The Switch Online membership.
Yeah, Switch Nintendo Online membership, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. And I think what they're doing is they have set it up to be like, oh, it's only like $20 a year, but like you better believe that like
the initial model for that, I was like, man, that's cheap.
Yeah,
that's a good deal.
And I don't know if this is factual or not, but I think because they're adding all these features into the Switch 2 and like everything is they have now where like it's almost like it's like Nintendo Chat where like you can play games, and it is basically Nintendo's version of Discord, but it's like shittier. Oh. And so you can talk with other friends and like play games and have like you can live stream the game to each other. I think you can even like if you own the game, I can host I can, what is it called whenever like you do it on your like a hotspot. Mm-hmm. You can do like a hotspot where like if you have a Switch 2 as well, you can join my session like wirelessly, and you don't have to own the game. But I can almost guarantee
that's neat. But it's gonna be a membership exclusive feature.
Exactly, I can almost guarantee that both parties have to have the Nintendo Online. So yeah. I think what they're doing is they're pushing everything to this membership model. So not only they're getting more money for the game's baseline, but like all the features that like you want to use for the game is gonna have to have the memberships. That way, like they are really gonna. And then I could be wrong, but a lot of times when they do this, they make these big pushes, and these large swaths of people onto these new online platforms, give it like 6 months or so, and they usually hike the price up a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And because that's what they do with like a lot of streaming services do that a lot.
Yeah.
They did that with me with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I got in, and it was like whenever Disney Plus first came out, it was like $8 a month. I was like, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. I think now it's like $20 a month or whatever for baseline. And again, they don't do that. It didn't start off that way.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, it's gonna be sorry,
sneak it right in there.
It's gonna be $10 now. And I was like, that's fine, that's cool. And then it's $12. And you're like, well, all right.
That's enough.
That's all right. Yeah. Spotify did the same thing. I have a family plan, which I have my whole family on.
Right.
And at one point in time, I think it was like $15 a month. I think I'm paying $22 a month now for it. I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But again, same thing. It was not, I got emails about it, but it was like, it's $19.50. And I was like, oh, yeah, all right, cool. So I wouldn't be surprised if like this time next year, Nintendo Switch Online costs more.
Yeah,
because all the new features behind it, they got a whole bunch of new members on it. Because you can get, because it's simple math. Let's say we got 1,000 users paying $20 a month.
That's a lot of money.
All of a sudden we got $2,000, and if we add an additional $5 to $10 for all these new people,
it just keeps printing money.
It just doubles our income, and it's like, oh man. So, anyways, I'm nervous about the Switch 2 and its reception. I think that some people are going to love it, and I think there's going to be a large swath of the community that's going to be like, yeah, this shit ain't fun, bud.
Yeah.
I do think there's still going to be games that are going to be affordable, but like anything that's like mainline Nintendo stuff is going to be it's hard to sell that.
I was really looking forward to Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
You still can.
I don't know.
Now he has to pay $120 to play it.
You'll just have to get a second job.
No, I'm done with that. I'm fucking done.
So, and then for me as well, I was watching a video and someone was saying, someone made a really good point that I hadn't thought about. Xbox is taking a very different approach.
Yeah.
With the whole Game Pass thing and how like anything can be an Xbox,
and
like
buying up every company they can,
buying up every company they can. Right. But like what I think what they're trying to do is I think it's the same sort of thing but different. They're trying to diversify who is their player base. They are trying to be like, download all the Xbox stuff. go ahead and spend money on the Game Pass and just like be part of our system. So that way, like whenever they flush out more of that stuff, people already have it and it makes it more valuable in that regard.
Yeah.
So I think that they're diversifying, which I think is helping them in the long run because I think that they have not done a good job managing that in the past.
Yeah.
The video I had watched that had talked about this was the fact, imagine like the dad going into let's say the Target or the Best Buy or whatever to go and get like to get some sort of console or new game for their kid for Christmas or birthday or whatever it is. And you walk down the aisle and you see the new Switch 2 and it's like $450. You're like, okay, it's not bad. You could probably spend the same amount of money or a little bit more for an Xbox or whatever.
Right.
But then you start looking at all the catalogs of games and you start seeing that they're all like $80-$90 a piece. And you're like, man, if I want to get if I want to get a couple games and a new console for my kid, I got to spend like $700,
right?
Or damn near $700 or whatever dollars for all of it. And then that's like, and that's to say like that's not to say like he may have to pay for like a membership for some features that aren't included or whatever.
Right.
But then you look over at the Xbox stuff and it's like, how much is Game Pass for?
I want to say the most basic version of it is like...
Is that like $5?
I think so.
A month?
I think so. I know a lot of people
have,
really like
time
it.
frames you can stretch it out to. I want to say a year would be like 20 at most.
But even so, that's what I'm saying. It's like how much? Do you know
It's
how much?
cheap.
Do you know how much a new Xbox goes for?
About $500 if you go with the Series X. The Series S is like $450.
Okay, so it's so for the same price potentially of a Switch 2 and potentially $20 membership, you could spend $470. You could spend damn near $500 and get an infinite amount more games and playability out of this object. So this is what they were saying. They were like, imagine this dad going in here being like, damn, if I want to get in the Nintendo scene, I gotta. We're talking about almost $1,000 for everything or whatever, but I could spend $500 and we could be playing everything. And it's like, ooh,
This is an
on a
Xbox
budget, the choice
household.
is obvious, but I mean, you got to think about the weight, that name.
You're right.
Nintendo is
You're
like
right.
the video game.
You're
company.
right. You're right. But I think that the game price is gonna. I don't think the console price is gonna turn people off.
Right.
But I think
For some people, that's going to be enough. Like, they're not going to care. I mean, if you can afford it, you can afford it.
Right. But I think that the game price is going to be what turns people off, potentially. Yep. I think that people enjoy Mario Kart, but I also am not a diehard Nintendo fan. Right. So I'm not sure. There are probably people screaming at the podcast that are big Nintendo boys. I grew up on the PlayStation OG 2, 3.
Same.
I never personally owned a 4 because by the time I could afford one, I bought a computer. But I've played on PlayStation 4 a whole bunch. So I've been a big PlayStation guy. I have had friends that have been in the Xbox realm. So I have have played Halo before. Baby. So yeah, exactly.
I got lucky.
So
I've
I'm not
a little bit of everything.
Right. I'm not biased towards anything. The only thing I've been a little bit biased towards has been Nintendo because I've never owned any of their stuff and I've never really been in their zeitgeist. Right. So what I'm saying is
slowly trying to break into that house for you.
Right. And
I've got a sizable collection of a lot of the OG stuff, like classics.
I own the OLED Switch. I bought it at the time for my girlfriend and I, and I bought a handful of games on it, and I do think it achieved, what it set out to do. I had
some fun with it.
Yeah, and I still have some fun with it. But this is where the nostalgia bias may rub off for me. We're like, if I want to play the new Mario Kart. Let's rewind even further back. Like I said before, when it comes to Steam, when it comes to brand new games, I hardly ever spend full price on a game.
Yep.
Just because, again, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, I gotta have this right now. I usually am patient enough, and again, I'm usually locked into another game where I'm like, I
don't have the time.
I don't have the time for it because I'm too busy doing Helldivers and Elite Dangerous right now.
Yeah,
I got shit to do, and I also got a job that's keeping me busy as well. That doesn't help. So, anyways,
my livelihood.
Right. I got to pay the bills as well.
Let's just get rid of these jobs.
Well, hey, you don't got to tell me twice. So that's what I'm saying. So for a guy like me, talking about a guy like me, when I see a brand new game drop at $80, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I can wait.
Yep.
I feel that way, and this is probably gonna piss somebody off. I have never been a big Monster Hunter guy. It just hasn't really been my cup of
Tried
tea.
what was it, Worlds?
Yeah, I remember playing Worlds with you a bit back in the day.
I don't think we ever played it.
No, we did.
I don't remember on Xbox.
Probably, yeah.
Because I remember I played it for like a week and then just never touched it again.
Well, what I'm trying to say is there's a large group of our friends that are big fans of Monster Hunter and that definitely jumped on that game when it dropped.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, right. And that's totally cool.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I know that this isn't probably the game I would want to grind at, and it would only be whenever we're playing with friends. And a lot of times I know that I would probably never.
You had asked me about it a couple of times, and I
because
gave you the
it was so
rundown I could.
Right, and it was so hype. Everyone's hyped about it, and again,
I
I'm
didn't try to sell you on it. I just described
exactly
the kind of game it was,
and I respect that. Thank you. But I was doing that because again, if this is a new game and it's good and all my friends are playing it, I will invest and buy a brand new. I'll pay full price for it. I'm not saying I would never pay full price for a game.
Right.
So like for instance, if everyone starts jumping on this new Mario Kart world and gets the new Switch 2 and all that kind of stuff, first of all, that'd be hard for me to do because I don't want to buy a new console.
Yeah.
But like, let's say hypothetically, like in a world where we could all play it and we're all jumping on it, I would go, it's $80. If I have 2 or 3 friends that are like, bro, you got to get it so we can play, I'd be like, all right, I'll consider it.
Right.
But if it's just my own personal beliefs, I'm like, ain't no way.
Right.
I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Again, I'm considering that for this new Oblivion remaster. Depending on how expensive it is, I may be like, I'll hold out a week or two and see what the reviews are at that point. Because if it's going to be, let's say hypothetically, this new remaster is going to be $80, and everyone's like, "Oh, this game runs like shit," I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until
they
gets
fix it
fixed.
up. We'll see what happens.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's
do your homework.
Right. I hate that you got to do that, but you know,
Right.
that's the world we live in. So
I miss being able to just look on the shelf. Not saying you still can't do this, but it'd be a pretty safe bet that there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to like what you pick out just at random.
Yeah.
I remember to go into GameStop with my dad multiple times.
Hell yeah.
And we would just do fucking like eeny, meeny, miny, mo with that shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was the same way with the Blockbuster Game Pass or whatever it was called. You could rent a game and hold on to it for as long as you want, as long as you're paying for the service or whatever, and you could swap out at any time. So I just would go in there and go like, this one.
Yeah, Dylan's still holding on to some.
Yeah, no, I've that's how I got my original copy of Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
It was like shortly before they went bankrupt and closed down.
Yep. I did the same thing. What was the first Final Fantasy with that girl Lightning?
13.
13. I did that with Lightning. I did that with Final Fantasy 13.
Damn.
I had played that game and I held on to it for a while and I tried to get into it and I was like, I'm just the turn-based combat Final Fantasy was just never really my vibe.
A lot of people didn't like that one.
And that's the weird thing was it was like real-time turn-based.
Yeah.
Which I'm not. It's comparable to like the Old Republic.
Yeah, right.
Fucking Xenoblade. As you saw, man, because
bro, that was actually kind of a wacky game.
I'm gonna have to keep at it.
Wait, which
point,
one?
But
Xenoblade?
Xenoblade. Yeah.
Weird. Not what I was expecting.
I kind of think it was interesting, but I also wasn't playing it though.
I talked to Myron about it recently after he gave me a call.
Bro, what are you talking to Myron?
Yeah, we got in touch not too long ago.
Shit.
I mean, we've still just been keeping in touch like here and there.
Yeah.
But recently, like we were just chatting on the phone. I told him what I had been playing recently, and he said that he couldn't keep at it with Xenoblade.
Really?
Yeah, he was really looking forward to the part where you get the mech and finally get to like fly around the open world and start fucking shit up.
Yeah.
But he says it took forever.
Damn.
It was super grindy, and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, that game's long.
It's sad.
Yeah, but besides that, you know,
they did kind of throw a lot at you at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was like, there's the same thing, and I didn't know this upon doing more research into Elite Dangerous. That's the same way they are too.
Yeah.
The tutorial is like on purpose kind of vague It's like it kind of like at least that's what people in like the forums and things are saying is like if you didn't struggle with learning the basics of Elite Dangerous, I don't think you had a great first beginner experience.
Right.
And I was like, and that's what I was experiencing because I'm like, there's a few things I'm like stumbling across from like, I don't really know how this function works, but I'm figuring it out. I'm flying a spaceship and I'm getting in trouble.
A good example for this feature to come into play at some point.
I was learning what a gravity well was in real time as I'm being like sucked around the planet. And I'm like, oh shit! And like,
somebody help! I don't know how to stop.
But anyways, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh man, it's one of the few examples I've been able to find that if the UI in your game is cluttered and just busy as shit,
got too much
my
stuff
brain is gonna turn off.
Yeah,
like,
are you feeling that way with Xenoblade?
It's got to have good sound effects. It's got to look nice.
Yeah,
and it's got to be relatively simple,
aesthetically pleasing to look at.
Exactly. Yes, because man. You saw it.
Yeah.
You witnessed that shit firsthand. I was like, where am I? There's just so much shit on the screen.
Yeah,
and it's overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with like certain things. Like there was like because they don't use. It'd be one thing if they use like simple terms that we all know, skills, traits, equipment, armor, like all that kind of. But like they use different names for certain things, which I know is probably like universe specific or whatever. And there's a way to kind of I think do that, but like tutorial teach you what those terms mean.
Yeah.
That game has has a large dictionary of like terminology.
They've got a glossary.
And you have to. Yeah.
Relatively thankful for because I was skimming through that shit before I started.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to like miss out on anything important.
Yeah.
But man,
it was vast.
Multiple pages. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna fight that's gonna inflict
That sounds
me?
like the diplomacy is not an option game
With
how you were talking about that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about getting it because it looked interesting.
And I mean, it looks nice. It's a fun like defense, like city builder type game, which is why I got it.
Diplomacy is not an option.
Yes.
Okay.
But man, it is.
Yeah, you said there was like a ton of tutorials.
I had gotten not even through most of the tutorial of like how to do shit and where to start from, what building does what units are able to interact with what objects and shit. I mean, it took a while.
Yeah.
Last I booted it up, I had gotten like 25 minutes in and I was like, damn.
Yeah, I saw
all of that was navigating menus and going through tutorials.
Yeah, no, I saw that it said you had played it, and I was like, oh, Dylan played it. I'm like, how much has he played? I'm like, 25 minutes. I'm like, oh, I don't think I want to buy this if he's only done it that much.
Right. And I mean, I'm sure once I actually buckle down and get into it, it's going to be worthwhile. But
yeah,
it's a commitment, though.
I had to put that one on the back burner.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though. I've been playing through BioShock 2.
Yeah, dude.
Recently, man.
A little blast from the
Holy
past.
Shit.
Ironically, I've never gone through any of them besides like a little bit of Infinite.
Wow.
Oh my god. Bro, I got the whole fucking collection. We got to start that shit whenever we finish Valkyria.
You brought your physical edition out. And
that I forgot I fucking had.
He forgot he has the complete edition
for PS4 that I had snagged like way back when. I'm like, I'm booting this shit up right now.
Yeah.
And
what a vibe that was.
Dude.
I was eating dinner and we were sitting there and you were playing that game and I think was that the night that I fell asleep on the couch?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
What a vibe. Ain't nothing better than just like vibe it out in the living room.
Fell asleep
fall
on your
asleep
couch
as your buddies playing video games. It's just I don't know, it feels like I'm a kid
it's a
again.
good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing will ever be as satisfying as freezing an enemy and then just doing a fucking drill charge, shattering them to pieces.
Don't worry, I fell asleep on your couch earlier too.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Chase.
You're
I
welcome.
don't think I allowed you to do that.
No, that's fine.
That couch, you had to be careful. I don't know if it came that way whenever I bought it, but I think it's enchanted.
Yeah.
With drowsiness. You lay on it the right way for long enough, and you're just like, you're just like, shit, I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yep.
And it's not just you, it's not just me, but it's like everybody.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody would like that. Like if you're sitting up on it, like normally it's fine.
Right.
But the second like you lean back and you just get cozy enough with the blankets and the
You'll
pillows
be
that I
out.
have,
Yep.
it takes no time
Within
at
a
all.
few minutes.
You're out.
Mm-hmm.
I've had friends. I've had my family over for holidays, and a lot of times I would blame it on the food a lot most times. But I don't
Yeah.
think it's the couch
Oh yeah,
Might be.
definitely.
because they've done it before before I've done cooking yet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They'll be on the couch and
Just
I'll be
at
like,
random.
I walk in there and they're just like, ugh,
I'll hear a
ow.
timer go off. I'll turn it in, and he'll be out like a fucking light.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I don't know. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I lay down and I'm like, shit, I can fall asleep right now.
Good couch.
Yeah, it's a great couch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sectional and it has a chase lounge and it has
A chase lounge?
Yeah.
Specifically
Or is it-
for you,
Is it Chase Lounge? I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Chase Lounge now.
Okay, well,
Regardless of proper pronunciation,
Yeah.
it will now be referred to as Chase Lounge.
yeah,
Yes.
But
So-
man,
it's fun.
right. In addition to BioShock, with it being the real tight and fun first-person shooter,
Yeah.
like it just nails the feeling of stomping around as a big daddy,
Yeah.
Would you
protecting a
kindly?
little sister. But yeah, other than that, I mean, me and Chase started up another playthrough of Catherine not too long ago.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
like 5 minutes.
Right.
A little annual.
And then this fucker mentions Valkyria Chronicles 4 and how we
Uh-oh.
fucked up our playthrough years ago. And I'm like, well,
Man, what year was that? Was that like
it was
2019?
2019.
Ah.
That was the last time we played it.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's
we
when that's
This
when I.
fucker got a couple of our squad mates killed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we have to restart. And it's like, no, it'll be fine. Let's just keep going. And then more people start dying, and we can't get past this one chapter.
So if enough of them die, you can't continue in the game anymore.
I'm sure it has that kind of mechanic, but it's never gotten bad enough.
I don't think we were also leveled up all that
no.
well.
No, we were not. Not even remotely.
I see.
We just recently, I had been grinding like nonstop, getting experience for all the different
You're like,
classes.
none of you will die.
Right. I'm making crystal clear as fuck that nobody's gonna die in this playthrough. Now, as I'm grinding, I'm leveling up each of the classes. As soon as I hit 11 for each one, I figure out there's a class up system.
Oh.
Like fucking Fire Emblem on the GBA. If you level up a class enough, they're gonna unlock this new version of said class.
Oh, a little
Unlock different
evolution.
abilities. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it's insane. No
Okay.
idea this feature existed.
Of course, to kill them all.
So, right, exactly. Yeah, thanks, Chase.
Yeah, of course, Chase. Thank you. Yeah.
So upon learning this, I'm like,
The biggest frown.
fucking Christ. So now I found out my shock troopers now have access to flamethrowers. My scouts
Oh,
are able to
yeah.
fire grenades from their rifles at a longer distance than a regular ass toss of a nade.
Thanks
Love
to me, you figured out how to get more XP.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
But
Hear
yeah,
me respond through gritted teeth.
right. I'm so happy.
heavy.
But it's gotten to a point where if I tackle any of the main story missions, the enemies are like gnats.
Love that. That's a good feeling sometimes.
Little bug bites.
Were
Yeah.
they still like that on that other mission earlier where all the bullets were flying around?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless I march one of my soldiers out like in the middle of a battalion,
Yeah.
they're gonna get mowed down if I don't like get into cover or if I don't kill them before they fucking obliterate my health with bug bites.
Gotcha.
But I mean
'Cause,
that's what it is bug bites now.
yeah.
They can't touch any of us.
Yeah.
Because I know you were complaining about missing the tanks, but I didn't know if you were like stressed about it.
I was. Because they in this like part of the story, it's like a major engagement, like armies are fucking clashing. They roll out these new fucking tanks,
Uh-oh.
assault tanks, and they're tanks, right? They're gonna
Right.
do
Was that the part where
pretty
you're
good
like, oh, they're so cool?
the cutscene plays where they roll up like 3 tanks in a row,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Oh, shit.
at this point, I'm just moving like my units individually, like throughout the battlefield. I
Right.
move my grenadier, my artillery unit, a little further forward than I
Uh-oh.
should have.
Push
and
the
this,
boundary.
And this fucking cutscene triggers, and I'm like,
Oh, no. He's dead.
That's cool.
He's dead.
So, thankfully, that's not the case. They're out of range. There's only one tank near the vicinity of this grenadier. And like I said, all my classes are leveled up enough.
Right.
They're tanky motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They can take some damage. But man, it is hectic trying to make sure that every avenue is covered and that every unit has proper support
Yeah.
because different classes have different strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
You will not see a grenadier go one-on-one with a fucking tank.
I can imagine not. It doesn't sound logical.
Right.
Look, if Snake can do it, she can do it.
Shut up. Snake is an exception. He's the shit.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We're talking about like Master Chief type shit.
Exactly. So I have one Lancer on the field right now. That's the anti-tank class.
Got it.
She is running up the middle of the map.
Got it.
Just finished capturing a camp. My Grenadier, all the way on the fucking right side of this area, practically miles away.
Oh, no.
The class that has the most stamina for movement is the Scout, for obvious reasons.
Of course.
The Lancer has maybe like a third of that same stamina bar.
Okay.
So she's not going to be going anywhere
fast.
Fast. Yes, exactly. So it's just a matter of getting all of my pieces into place so that I can pull off that flawless fucking checkmate maneuver.
Yeah.
And about a little over halfway through this chapter, we get reinforcements in the form of our own tanks. In addition to the main tank, like the picture on the front of the fucking case type tank.
Right.
And my little APC that I just got. So I'm able to finally maneuver my tanks after taking out like their anti-tank turrets that they've set up, fucking rapid fire type shit.
Yeah.
And I'm able to take them out one by one. I lose one tank.
Okay.
It's just a nameless jobber tank.
Got it.
Fed tank.
Love it.
Don't even got to worry about it.
Little Fetty tank.
All of my squad mates are fine. All of the people I care about are
alive
and well.
All of my favorites are still
right,
alive.
and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
What do you mean for now?
He's going to try and kill him.
I'll fucking kill you, Chase.
You never know when the Frost Lady will show back up.
We're going to fucking kick her ass. Are you kidding me? I dare her. Anyway.
I'm going to use MK Ultra and have her join us.
Okay.
Sure.
That's
you're
fine.
like,
yeah,
okay,
Mike.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that. Shit. I mean, I think that might happen throughout the story. I'm not sure.
That would actually be very funny.
That'd be so cool.
It's some weird tragic
man.
backstory, and you're like, hey, we could be friends. It's just like, okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, be friends.
So, yeah. That was my latest Battlefield report.
Yeah.
Been having a ton of fun with that game. It's the first game in a while that I've actually put the effort into grind for because of how the experience system works in that game. I feel the need to, and I enjoy it, which is saying a lot because I usually hate that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it's like a classic RPG, like fucking Pokemon.
Right.
I love that shit. But yeah.
I think that also goes to show, there's a reason why it's called grind, but sometimes you can make the grind in a game fun,
right?
Like you can make it to where it's a responsibility, but but there's ways.
At the very least, satisfying.
Yeah, and there's games like that I've played as well where I'm like, this technically, I could see how at some point in the future this probably could get boring, but for right now I'm having fun with it. I think the same thing with Helldivers 2. There's a lot of stuff that probably gets a little grindy once you get to higher levels, but that's a different story for that game. The community and the people make that game funny.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, that young, I don't know how old that person was that I was playing with. I think I told you that one time.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna make it, Commander. And like, get up, soldier. Get up, Sergeant. We gotta go. And he's like,
Don't worry, I'll save you from yourself.
Yeah, no. I told him he had picked up all the samples, and he was like, I said, you got all the samples, Sergeant. You better get to this ship now. And he's like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And I stand over the ridge and blah, blah, blah. And I start killing guys around him, and he's like, I think I may make it. And I was like, you're gonna make it, Sergeant. Get on this ship now.
Oh, you remember that one time your buddy had all the samples and he went to the pond?
Yep.
We're like, oh no.
Oh my god, dude. There's some. I forgot about that until you.
Oh, we were like, oh no.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. It's a learning experience for everyone.
Right.
I really enjoy that game. I made the mistake also of doing something of it was literally was a careful Icarus moment
Yeah.
where I was on one of those swamp maps and I was and the map how it was like laid out was like there's a large swath of like water that like went through the middle of the map and like kind of went off to like the eastern side.
Yeah.
So like the landmass was like, kind of like a crescent shaped. And we were like trying to finish all the objectives at like the northern part of the map of like that crescent. And the crescent got close enough in certain areas where I feel like if I had the new hover pack, and I know the distance at which I can, how far the hover pack will go if you're on like an elevated surface. And there was one other time where I did this where like it was a wide enough gap where I was like, I don't think I'm going to make this, but I think I'll get close enough that even if I fall in the water, I won't drown.
Yeah.
And so I got on like kind of a nice rock, did a little sprint and like used the little hover pack, hovered around, got really close, and I actually got on the other side and it was fine. This other time we had very little time left where we have to get to extraction. And the part that I thought was close enough, I was like, I think this is farther than what I did before, but I think that I can make it. And I was like, and then I did a little run, but the elevation I think was lower than I was expecting that I needed. And how those games work obviously is like if you kind of travel farther if you have a higher elevation with those like hover and jump packs and things like that. So I go for a running sprint and I hover pack over, and of course I know how long you feel how long the jet boost lasts.
Right. Yeah.
I made it probably 3/4 of the way, and I knew I was out.
Yep.
And so I'm cooked. And so so I fall down and I kind of hover across the water, and it drops in the water, and my guy's like, and he's trying to swim over there to it, and before I know it, I drowned. I drowned, and then when I go back around to like I land and I try and go over like to where my stuff is dropped, it was far enough where I couldn't actually go into the water to get it. So it all just it sunk down.
Worst.
So I sat there and was looking at all the samples and all my stuff, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah. That old low-res picture of the horse on a shoreline. Hort. Rage.
This is man.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for sitting down and let me yap about video games. I really needed this.
Yeah.
It's been a very hectic week, and it's been I've been high strung. It's been like one thing after the next. And being able to sit down and talk about some fun things has been nice.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
Well, I'm going to be taking another brief sabbatical.
Oh?
Over in Dakota's neck of the woods.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Not as long as last time, because he's got Easter Sunday plans, but other than that, I'm just going to be hanging out over there for a bit.
Love that. You guys got any plans for what you're going to play?
No idea.
Destiny 2?
I'm just going to... No.
I'm playing.
just going to... We do not speak the same.
We do not
Destiny
speak
3?
Shut up. I'm just going to bring over some goods, some goodies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Have a little LAN party.
Yeah.
What about you, Chase? I know you're about to go to Alaska, right?
Yep.
You got you a trip.
When
do you go on? When you depart?
I leave
whenever the fuck he wants.
I leave Saturday morning, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta fly out.
So by the time this releases tomorrow morning, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, when he says fly, he doesn't mean a plane.
No. You ever seen the Minecraft person?
The Minecraft person.
Yeah, the Minecraft person. As you're just like, he's waving his arms and legs as he's just hovering in space.
You just see me T-pose across the sky.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Where did I leave my house?
Right.
I know it's somewhere around here.
Yeah. Well, if anyone lives in the Alaska area and see a man
watch out.
Flying a man, watch
Lock
out.
your igloos.
Yeah, lock your. Oh man,
they won't help you.
All right. He has heat vision,
like a miniature sun.
Yeah. Well, for those of you out there who are wanting to stay in touch, be sure to leave some comments. We got Spotify, we got YouTube, all that kind of stuff where you can leave us some comments and let us know what you think. We've had a couple of people reach out about some episodes. And one in particular, we had someone comment about our Irresponsible Captain Tyler episode. That was really cool. It was great to hear from you.
Another diamond in the
rough. Bruh. And we watched a couple more of those OVAs, and I'm locked in and ready for another episode on those. But yeah, we have the YouTube channel at Hindsight Studios. You can type that in at the search bar or at .com/@Hindsight Studios, where you can subscribe to the channel, like the videos, leave us a comment. We want to hear from you, and we appreciate your dedication to this podcast.
Yeah.
I love you.
Damn.
And until next week,
See you.
I love rain.
bye-bye.